This time, Jeannie Hoffman's going to come and share with us.
Good morning. We are very happy to be here in Wheeling. I want to introduce formally Mrs. Ostick, Nikki Ostick. Just go ahead and stand. Might as well embarrass you. You know, Nikki and her husband served in the Philippines with our work for 10 years and have continued to be great supporters and great help as forwarding agent for a while also. And so I just decided to drag her along with me today. So she lives in East Palestine, either one, Ohio. And so, and I'm living in Indianapolis, so I went there first and got her, and so we're here. But I just wanted to just because Nikki had a connection with the Philippine work. What I'm doing, you can go ahead and put that first slide. I guess I could look here. I don't have to keep turning around. We are going to look at the work in the Philippines because I thought if you were in Sunday school, you got to hear about the work that's going on now, what we've been doing. But this church has been supporting this work. We can trace it back to the 60s. I can't find an exact date, or maybe somebody could, but I know that my father was at this church and spoke. And so we would like to just show you what happens in missions when you are faithful and when you support. So I've got this, right? Okay. The Bible teaches us as people to go into all the world, into all nations, and we went to the Philippines. And so that's the little group of islands right there in the middle. We were living right in the center of the islands in the city of Manila, and that's a city of anywhere from 18 to 22 million, depending on which part of the internet you look at. The whole country now, they are saying there are 90 million people on the island of the Philippines. Now, the funny thing is, if you were to take all those islands and scrunch them up into one piece of land, you could sit it inside the state of Arizona. And so that's what kind of land mass that you're talking about. I would like to tell you this are the missionaries that are responsible for the work in the Philippines from the very beginning. I usually do not tell names, but Nikki's husband, Jim, is insisting that I tell you the people that are in this picture because there might be names that you recognize, and that's important. Let's start at the top. Mr. and Ms. Leslie and Carrie Wolf. They are the ones who came to the Philippines in 1907. And they started the work. The next couple are Mr. and Mrs. James Willis Hale. They are from Oregon. They came in 1940. Mr. and Mrs. Ray Carlson came in 1940. Also the next one, the family picture, Barton and Betty McElroy. I wish I had a pointer because Barton and Betty McElroy have the 3 children. The oldest is Barbara. The middle one is Jeannie. That's me. And then the little boy is Jim McElroy. And then going down to the next family. I'm sorry?
Wasn't there another sister?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there was. But she wasn't born yet. I shouldn't have put that. Just don't tell John. Please don't tell my little sister. There was one more. So now you're going to make me laugh, don't you? I'm sorry. What? No. Oh, you're kidding. Oh, no, we're not going to go there. On this side, the second row, with another family, are Charles and Roberta Selby. Been in the Philippines since the late 1940s, and their 3 boys. The 2 women, Edith Schimmel and Ethel Jones. Then the next single woman is Ruth Smith, and the one with the child is Bertha Filer. Then myself there, then my brother Jim and his wife Carla, and then Nikki Ostick and her family with her 3 girls, and then the other one, the family with the boys and the daughter Roger and Joey Fletcher, and down at the bottom are Conley and Sandy Stevenson, and then Skip and Linda Daniels. You saw Skip's picture single by himself because Linda has since passed away. All right. Then I want these names that I read, the names that are listed there, these missionaries who were pictured there were prisoners of war in the Philippines. And they were there under house arrest for several months, and then they were put into the Los Baños prison camp. But these are the missionaries that were interned by the Japanese. The Robin Carlson and Larry Carlson. Larry Carlson was born in the prison camp, and Robin was 2. This is Mrs. Wolf in 1950s, because Mr. Wolf, Leslie Wolf, died 30 days after liberation. Mr. Wolf said, all the missionaries say that the forces dropped the paratroopers from the planes, and because of the way the parachutes opened, it looked like angels coming down to rescue them. And Mr. Wolf lived to be free, but he died of starvation 30 days after. This is his gravesite in the Philippines. He was initially buried by the old prison camp, and then they moved him to the National Cemetery. And I'm telling you this because he was buried in the Philippines, and this is what that place looks like now. And this is an American cemetery in the Philippines. There are over 35,000 of our men buried there. Some families have come and taken their men home, but they decided to leave Leslie Wolf there. I must tell you, Mrs. Wolf stayed for 54 years. The Hales were in the Philippines. Served 60 years, and they are buried there. The Carlsons served 60 years. They are buried there. My father was very unhappy that he's not buried there. And Mrs. Wolf had a stroke and was taken back to the United States by her family, or she would have been buried there. But we have all of these people that have served a lifetime in our work. Then this is the very first picture of the Manila Bible Seminary preachers, with Mr. Wolf in the back corner, the American there. This is Mrs. Wolf later on in the 50s with the preachers. My father is kneeling down there in the front, and Mr. Hale is behind him. This is the preachers now. And these are the men that are serving. They're that have worked with the Philippine mission, establishing churches and baptizing the people in the country. We also had to work in the National Penitentiary, in the prison. This is the old prison work, and the prisoners. And then this is a baptismal scene at the prison. They baptized him in a drum. You had to do what you had at that time. They have now a baptistry in the prison. We also have a radio ministry that was taken over, and it is now reaching. This young man has since passed away. His family is taking over the radio ministry. The radio broadcasts reach over 1 million people in their radio broadcast. I'm not sure how clear this is. We had to work in the leper colony. That has also been taken over by the Filipinos. The man has no fingers, as you see, and his face is disfigured. We also had a medical and dental team where we were in charge of taking. I was the driver for the car of the van that would pick up the doctors and the nurses and the dentist. I did all the medicine, Mrs. Ostick and her family. We had the kids working, repacking medicine. We had all kinds. When we first started, we had folding chairs sitting against the wall, and that was the dental chair. You'd lean your head against the wall, and the dentist would work on you. And that's how now they take a portable dentist chair with them, and the Philippine churches are the ones that are doing it. We also have the street ministry, where I've mentioned Skip Daniels. The kids just put a piece of cardboard down and sleep anywhere that they can, and a whole family just sleeping right there on the street. And this is in the past, and this is now. There are 158 kids that off of the street and are being fed. They're in their homes of other families or their own families, and because of Skip's program, they have the proper nutrition and this is also the church. They meet at the church. We use the local churches for meeting places, and that makes the entire neighborhood know also who we are. This is the first Manila Bible Seminary, downtown Manila, that was taken. I don't know how clear you can see the windows, but the windows are made out of shells, the square shells. Those windows were moved then when we moved out to our new campus. This is what our campus looked like in the beginning. Thatched roof, everybody there for the opening time, and then we started building. Our buildings are hollow block, steel bars, and permanent buildings. This is our sidewalk, our driveway that goes up, and then there's our chapel at that time. This is our chapel now. This is our chapel, library, classroom, and we have 5 classrooms here in this building. That we had more extensive photos in Sunday school, so I don't take the time. And then this was a graduating class back in the 50s. We did not have classes during the war, but immediately when the war meant they started again. And so this one of the classes in the 50s. This is the classes now. So, the progress. This is what I want you to see, how much has gone. This is the student body. Instead of that group of men, one small group of men, we have 120 students, and men and women, teaching them to preach, to teach all classes, all ages of kids in school, and musicians. They can lead the choirs, they can form quartets, they can form groups, and also Sunday school teachers on Christian education. And our boys, the preachers, are required to take Christian ed as well, not just the preaching courses. They are also required. We also have students that come to us from overseas, other countries. This is Leonard Thompson from India. Leonard graduated. He found his picture of his graduating class hanging on the wall, so he had to have a picture taken with it. He serves in India, and in fact, he's coming to the Philippines in a couple of weeks to teach our master's class. And then this is Virgilio and Esther de los Santos. They are Filipinos, but they're from our seminary as well. He's from the Philippines, but has been sent to Thailand. And they've been in Thailand for more than 40 years as missionaries, Filipino missionaries to Thailand. And they both speak fluent Thai, but very, very beautifully, and doing a very good job. And I just want to show you some of the churches that have been built in the Philippines as we've been in the Philippines for many years. Over 800 churches have been established by the Philippine Mission from the beginning. This is just a few of the buildings that they are building. They have anywhere from 50 to 1,000 in their congregations. And each one is indigenous. They're on their own, they pay their own preacher, they do their own programs. That's what we teach at our school. That's what the seminary is for, so that we can get them to take care of themselves. I mentioned in Sunday school that the prison work is under the Filipinos now. The churches are doing this. The campus ministry is all but completely done by the Filipino churches, and the medical team is doing this. And we are having programs going on all the time with our churches to try and get them to support Manila Bible Seminary too. And so all of this that has grown from that field and from nothing, you have been part of all of these years. And I hope that you are very proud of that, because your faithfulness, this would not happen if churches like yourselves were not giving and supporting the work that's been going on. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I want you to know that we work hard to be worthy of that money that you send us. We try to be faithful to that, and we give you the proper reports, and so that you know where your money is going, because I know it. You work hard for it too. And so that's one reason. But that's why I wanted to have a look back, so that you could see what you've been part of. Thank you.